Hello, and thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a modern Canadian horror comedy. And now, Dead Shack. The movie's about a group of teenagers staying at a cabin in the woods with their party animal dad and his new girlfriend. They soon discover that their neighbor is harboring and feeding zombies. As you would expect, chaos ensues. I gotta be honest, I wasn't really expecting much going into this, and I was pleasantly surprised. The comedy works nicely, and the characters are very well realized. This movie actually had me caring about them to some extent. I especially enjoyed the dad character. He was particularly funny. I'd never heard of anyone in the cast, and I gotta admit, they all did a pretty good job. It was a much smaller movie than I anticipated. I went in expecting a full-on zombie outbreak film, and that's not what I got. And to be honest, it probably was for the better. In fact, there's only about a handful of zombies in the film, and the design of them all looks pretty good. There's also a fair amount of practical gore in the film, and it's pretty adequate, though there are a few obvious instances of terrible CG. Overall, the film is pretty well shot, but I have to admit it does have an overly digital look to it, and I didn't like that so much. Also, the color palette is almost completely drained, leaving everything with a slightly bluish tint. Not even the blood popped. There was almost no color in the movie. By far my biggest complaint about this one. There were a few questionable moments in the plot, but given that the cast were teenagers, it's excusable. It's also impossible to talk about this film without acknowledging the obvious Evil Dead influence, something again that I don't feel hurt the film overall. Dead Shack was a surprisingly decent movie. It's far from perfect, but it's definitely far from terrible. It checked all of the required boxes for a horror comedy, and the jokes actually stand up on repeated viewings. Go ahead and give it a watch.